Hey everyone, welcome back to One Strange Adventure. Welcome to the next video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We keep getting asked the question, what do we use for mobile, for internet? So my wife works full-time, I work full-time. Both kids are still virtually being schooled. So we get asked the question quite frequently, like, what are we doing for internet? I figured just make a quick short video, kind of show you exactly what we're using and the different options. There's actually a couple of different things. One being what we're looking for when we actually book RV sites so that we know the place that we're going into actually has decent service. What providers do we use and what equipment do we use for our internet setup. Now this is actually a little bit different because we don't have this huge elaborate setup and it's working for us. So now, would we like to have one of those big setups? Of course, it'd be nice to have just reliable, fast internet. But I've even seen issues with some of those larger, very expensive setups. But today I'm going to show you exactly what we use and the equipment that we use to make sure that we have internet. Now, one of the first things that we do when we're booking our campgrounds is actually use a paid service where we map everything out. It also gives you some information about the cell service in that area, and that is RV Trip Wizard. We use it for GPS, we use it to plan our routes, and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. When you are in RV Trip Wizard, you can actually click on a campground in the area that you are looking for, and you go to park details. And when you're in park details, you can go to features, and it will actually show you the connectivity which is in the area. Does it have Wi-Fi? They don't know. Some of this is user feedback. Some of it is based on the campground. It looks like there's Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Sprint in that area. Now what this doesn't do is it doesn't tell you how strong that is. You might be able to make phone calls, but you may not be able to stream on it. But it at least gets you going in the right direction and understanding whether or not you are going to have service there. Now another service that you can actually use to see if there is a certain signal in an area is actually an app on your phone, and that is free. It is called Open Signal. And you can do a speed test or you can do a video test, but you can also look for the information in your area. So the park that I pulled up for RV Trip Wizard was called Pickett RV Park, and we're not staying there, but it's in Blackstone, Virginia. So if I searched Blackstone, VA, then I can drill down and actually see what networks are in the area there. Now it looks like there's some spotty coverage mainly around the roads, but you can actually say, like, do I want to see AT&T only? And it looks like there's a little bit of service there. What about Verizon? Verizon seems to be the stronger signal in that area, but this will actually allow you to kind of see what the signal is and the performance in that area versus just looking at TripWizard where it just shows you whether or not there is a signal. Okay, so that's how we find exactly whether or not we actually can get service in that area. What services do we have? We actually carry Verizon and AT&T. And there's a couple of different reasons. We have found that usually when Verizon doesn't have service, AT&T does. If AT&T doesn't have service, Verizon does. So when we're in the UP, AT&T was actually the strongest up there. And in a lot of cases, we didn't have any Verizon signal and was thankful our truck had AT&T built in and could get us the GPS that we needed to get back off of those 20-mile long dirt roads. So we were pretty thankful to actually have both there. But it's a matter of preference. What I like to have it as a kind of a fail-safe. And so having Verizon and AT&T gives us a better chance of actually having service in a particular area. Okay, so I've shown you exactly how I try to find whether or not a particular RV park or campground has good service. Let you know what service providers we actually use. Now there's a couple of pieces of equipment that we use to actually to be able to access the internet. There's 3 different things that we use as a hotspot. One is our AT&T box. That has a pretty strong signal that's been pretty consistent. There is my iPad, which is on a Verizon plan. And then there's my phone, which is on a separate Verizon plan. So I do have a couple of options here that I can use to see which one has the fastest internet. I'm actually going to show you a speed test right now. We have pretty good service in Verizon and AT&T. So I'm going to show you a speed test between the 3 of these, and you'll actually be surprised between the iPhone and the iPad, both being on the Verizon network, will give you 2 different results in the speed test. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. All right, right now I am on AT&T One Strange Adventure plan. I am going to run the speed test and see where this comes out. I am just using Google speed test. If you just pull up Google and type in speed test, it will take you right there on the home page. All right, looks like we're peaking out 17.9 upload. All right, so I'm going to show you now. I'm going to connect to my iPhone, which you can see already the iPad is actually getting better service than the iPhone for some reason. I'm going to refresh this page just to be sure that it is on there, and I'm going to run that speed test. Now this is running from my iPhone hotspot, and it came in at a blazing 0.40 download, and it looks like we're going to be less than 1 upload. 0.4 download, 0.66 upload. So super fast. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect to my iPad, and then, which is also on Verizon, and we're going to run the exact same test. I'm going to refresh this page again. All right, and now I'm going to run the same test connected to my iPad, which is, again, another Apple product connected to Verizon network. Download 19.8, upload 2.76. Vastly different. Now, the one thing I don't know is, does device actually play a part in that, where the iPad doesn't have to reserve a certain amount of data for other actions that the iPhone does, like messaging and phone calls, while it's capable of doing that? Is there something like that that's going on? I don't know. But what I tend to find is I can work from my iPad, no problem. My iPhone hotspot will give me some issues sometimes. And then you saw the AT&T box is actually the fastest of the 3. So we have internet options, and this is what we use. This is what we are looking for when we book campgrounds. When we get here, we typically do some speed tests, just exactly the same way that I just showed you. And then we use the best signal. There are certain days my wife has to absolutely have rock solid internet, so we will reserve the AT&T box most of the time for those days. And then there are days that I need to be in training or something like that, and we will reserve that box for those days. That's pretty good internet speeds from something that didn't cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to hook up on the RV. Eventually we will upgrade, but for now, this is working for us. Sunday, you will still see us in Cherrystone and talking about the measurements of our new rig. So pretty excited about that one. I hope you found this useful. Be thinking of creative ways that you can actually get good solid internet out there on the road. And if you did, leave some comments below. Let me know what you're using, if you think there's something out there that could help me. But if you like this video, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you really like it, make sure you subscribe. Until the next strange adventure, keep making your own.